Hi all, welcome to my channel. I'm Mark, this is Mark's Mods, and today we are going to do issue 8 of Build the Ecto-1. So, let's get modelling. Well, I've laid out everything on the desk. I'm not filmed opening it because there was a lot to open. But we have got a lot of screws in this issue. We've got AP screws, FP screws, DM screws, BP screws, BM screws. So that's a lot to be getting on with. Also, these bits here, which are quite tiny, came in bags, so I've just opened them bags just to try and save a bit of time. And we do actually get a set of tweezers in this issue, so it's probably going to be fiddly, but I'm probably not going to use them. I'm going to use my professional set of tweezers that I have got. So I'm just going to move these parts to the side, okay, and what it's wanting us to do is we need to get this part here from the previous issue and this part here, I believe, and what it's asking us to do is just to slot that through into there. Fairly simple so far. And then it wants us to screw that down into the part with some AP screws. So I'll get some AP screws ready and we'll get this screwed into place. Yeah, I don't know how long this video is going to be. It could be quite a long one. There is quite a lot to do and a lot of fiddly things. But what I will do is I'll try and edit it down so that you can see better and it's not me droning on for absolute hours and hours, which wouldn't be nice. So let's get this final screw in. Let's get this final one in, yep, like so. And I think we're just mirror imaging what we did in the last issue, because it's asking us now to get this part here. So this bit with the 3, and it wants us to sort of hook, if we do this right, hook that on like before. And then it wants us to get the top of the engine. I'm just going to get my tweezers out so I can get these parts out because they can't be packed in. So get this part here, okay, that has Cadillac on it, and it wants us to then try, this will be fun, there we go, did that first time, quite happy about that. Put that in and that will secure that down, and then it wants us then to screw it in with some BP screws, and it's asking us to use 4 BP screws to screw this in. So let's get these in. Now these are absolutely tiny screws, so I might need to use my other screwdriver. I'm just going to get them partially in and then come along and tighten them up again. Just making life a little bit easier. Now I'm definitely going to have to get my smaller screwdriver. And if needs be I might have to use my Oria screwdriver. Actually they're going in a lot better with this screwdriver. So I had a letter yesterday, not very good. But yeah, I've got to self-isolate for 12 weeks because I'm at high risk of this virus. So I'm hopefully going to catch up on my videos to all of you guys. So hopefully I won't be too far behind. Okay, so we've done that part now. And then this part from the previous issue. Now let me just make sure I get this the right way around. Yep, that's the way it goes. And it wants us to slot this into place like that. I don't think it slots into place like that, yeah. And that is to be secured in with some AP screws, the good AP screws. So let's secure that in, and that is now in place there. And we now have to attach this onto the body of the engine. So let's get that on. Should just slot into place. Should. Just making sure I have it lined up properly. That's that. And that is in place. Now that is to be secured in with DM screws. And it's quite a long to get it in. It's quite a deep hole, so a nice thin screwdriver for that is better, so that's why I'm using this screwdriver here. You can feel it when it goes in, and then just tighten it up as so. Okay, so we'll just put the engine aside for now, because the next part is we are going to be getting, oh golly, let's have a look. I think this part here and this part here, and let's make sure we get this the right way around. I don't think it is that part actually. I think it is a different one. There we go, it's actually this part here, so let's put that one back. And this is definitely going to be very, very, very fiddly, because it wants to connect this with an AP screw. I'm going to load up the AP screw first, ready and waiting for when I need to. So it get this part here, very, very tiny part, and this part here. Oh, this is going to be fun. Put it on and try and somehow screw that in. It actually only wants to go one way, so there is a notch to locate it, to get that in. That's still extremely fiddly. Blooming. Right, let's try and get a screw in. Right, I might just be quiet while I concentrate. Ah, that's gone in. Oh, that was a bit of a worry. Okay, so we've got that part in there. The next part it wants us to get is this part here. And it looks like the part I had before, yep, this part here, and then it would like us to, that's symmetrical, bob this in. Now it does have a notch, so it can only go one way. That locks into place like that, and then it wants us to use an FP screw. So let's get an FP screw, which is a longer screw. Bob that in and then screw it in. Gonna have to use other screwdriver for this, I believe. Yeah, because the head's quite thick. And we've done that. Okay. The next part it wants us to do is we take the bit that we worked on earlier, and we are wanting, oh golly, I've gone ahead of myself. I need to take this FP screw out actually, because I should have attached this other part before doing it, so bad me. Okay, so I'm trying to see which way round this goes. Oh golly, okay, let's see. Right, so it goes like that. Right, let's get a screw in to secure that into place first. and then we'll orientate it to the way we want it. I knew that'd happen. Right, so let's just load that up. Let's get this part here, get this part here, bob it on. This is why I said this issue might be long, guys, because it is so fiddly. Nope, that's bobbed out again. Try and try again until you get it right. Oh. Right, got it lined up. I'm going to get a screw in. Right, that screw's now in. Whew! Right, and that's the right way around. So let's tighten this screw up. Sometimes you need 3 hands. Right, for some strange reason that's not tightening up, but it is locked in place. Okay, so we've done that now. It wants us to bring the engine over, like so. And then this part here, which I believe we did in the last issue, it wants us to put this on. There is a little notch, so it can only go one way. So that bit's on. Yeah, okay. And then it wants us to get this sort of cap, this part here, and secure that in. I think this can only go one way as well. Yep, it can. It does. And then that wants us to screw that in with a BP screw. So let's get a BP screw loaded up in the hole and just softly, that's it, secure that in, and that is now in like that. Wow, this has been quite fiddly so far, but let's keep going. Okay, the next part it's wanting us to get is this part here, if you can see that, and it wants us to get this very small part here, and then this cap here. Okay, now for that I'm just going to see if it says it needs any glue. So the instructions say push the ignition coil cap onto one end of the ignition coil, then drive the ignition coil plug into the hole at the other end of the ignition, disassembly and fix it to the top of the intake manifold. Okay, so it's not asking us to use any glue, so it wants us to get this tiny part out. I'm going to put this on my tweezers and bob it in. Let me just move the engine out of the way so you can see, and bob it in to this hole. Just careful not to break it. I didn't break it. Okay, and then this part here, it does have a direction, I think, because I think it has a flat end, and it looks like, no it doesn't, so it just goes in anyhow into here. Now that's quite a tight fit, so I can see why it didn't want us to use any glue. And then it wants us to bob this, let's have a look, and it wants us to bob this into here, no, here, I think so, yes, bob this into this part here of the engine. Oof, excuse me. Making sure I've got it the right way around, which I have. That's wanting to move. It says it wants us to put that in with a BP screw, so let me get a BP screw ready, because I'm going to have to hold this in place while it goes in. So BP screw loaded, and into the hole. Now for some strange reason that's not catching. and I'm not too sure why. So let's just try again. It's gone in now. Just wasn't catching for some unknown reason. Right, so that's in with a BP screw. Now I think comes the fun part. We have to start putting the spark plugs or coils into the engine, and I think this is where things are going to start to get fun. So on the sides here of the engine there are holes, and it would like us to place these little tiny things in them holes. So let's have a test of one first of all, using the tweezers, and that's in there, so that's gone in quite nice actually. So let's do the second one. I might actually be able to do this with my hands. No, I can't. That's a second one. That's the third. That's the fourth. Go to the next one. Yeah, there's always one that wants to be a pain. I'm not going. Right, that's it. Go to the next one. Whew. Right, so this is the sixth one. That's number 6. Nearly now, nearly done. That's number 7. And the last one, which looks going to be a little bit difficult because we've got to get it past the I'm going to lose what I'm saying. We've got to get it past this part here, the dipstick for the engine oil. So we've got all them in now, which is fantastic. That was a lot harder than what I thought. And the next bit, I believe, I'm just looking, which is either I think it's this bit here. Correct me if I'm wrong. Probably am wrong. It says it needs to go onto here, but it's square, so it can't be that. So could it be probably this bit here? Yes, it is. Okay, so we're to fit that on. I'll turn it round so you can see what I'm doing. Slot that into there, like so, and then it wants us to get this other dipstick, and this is directional. It wants us to slot that in. It's quite a tight fit, but that's in. Whew. Okay. Now we've got another fiddly part coming up, because it wants us now to fit all these onto the car, the HT points onto the vehicle. So I'm just looking at how this is done. It looks sort of not too bad, but again I'm probably going to need my tweezers. So let's get the first one into position. Then using my thumb on top. Okay, that's the first one. I'm going to try and do all the difficult ones first, I think. I think that might be a lot easier. So doing the back ones, so they're out the way, and then I can do the front ones. So here comes the second one. There we go, that's into place. Just going to twist this first one around, there we go. Next. Oh, That one decided to drop. I'll just see if I can do these by thumb now. Yes, I can. So, get that one line. Next is that one. Let's go to the other side. It is satisfying when you've got a build that, you know, it's got a lot to it and you can really get your teeth into it. I always say I love the ones which really do challenge you as a part worker and model maker. This one wants to be a bit of an issue, but let's try and get it in. Yeah. Why are you not going in, Mr. Plastic Part? Right, we'll try you in the other hole. See if you prefer that hole better. Right, I don't know why. This should be one of the easy ones at the front. But this one doesn't want to go in. Ah, and here we go. Hey. And the last one around the sides. There we go. They're all in place. And then it wants me to get this little bit, one last one here. And it wants to face this way towards the back. Well, it would be actually towards the front of the engine. But I think this one again I'm going to have to put in with tweezers. It's just fallen in. Come on out. Come on out to play. Come on, there we go. Right. Let's bob that in and just make it sure we twist it around. Okay, so that bit's now in, and then it wants us to get this tiny piece of pipe. Very tiny piece of pipe. I'm hoping this isn't as bad as when we did the proton packs, because I might have to widen it. No, that's okay. And it will just connect up these two bits. And that's fine like that. Now that seems a little bit bent to me. Right, okay, it doesn't say to cut this down at all. But that's quite bad actually. That looks very, very like it's kinked, so I might just make an adjustment to that later. Okay, so we're nearly at the end of this mammoth build. So the next part it would like us to do, we've got to get this bit here, and looking at it, yeah, it wants us to put this bit into here. If I can get it right. Double check everything. Make sure. Right, oh golly. Okay, and it wants us to secure that in with a BM screw. Okay, now this is going to be a bit of a fiddly one to fit in, because let me just load up my screwdriver. It's the screw hole for it is right down into here. Right, I've got it in. Let's just... I thought I had it in. This is exceptionally fiddly, especially when you've got shaky hands like mine. Right, I think I'm going to have to secure this in with my Oreo screwdriver, because these wear ones are just not long enough, and I can put an extension on my wearer, I think. I think let's just try. Oh, that is spinning. No, it's not. That is exceptionally difficult. So you know why it's not going in? Because I'm not using the right screw. Right, sorry about that. It was because I was actually using a BEP screw and not a BM screw. So my mistake. But that's more or less in place. Let me just tighten it up a little bit more. Right, so that's now been nicely tightened up. The last bit, the last few bits it wants us to do is get this little part here, slot it in. I think it's that little part there. It wants us to slot it in. It should go all the way down like that, yep. And it would like us to secure that in with an AP screw. So let's get an AP screw loaded up. And let's get that screwed in. Definitely using the right screw this time. As last time, and the last but not least bit is this tiny piece here. That wants to sit in at the top of this. But guess what? I'm going to have to hold this in while this goes in. So for this it wants us to use a BP screw. Definitely a BP screw this time. So let's get a BP screw loaded up. Let's get this in place. Falling out. Right, get that in. And if we come round to the side, right, so that's put in, and then come around and screw it up, screw it in. Okay, and just one of these has popped out, so we'll just bob that back in. And here presto in a minute. Right. And that's it. And that's the finished view of the engine today. Well, that's it for today, guys. Thank you for watching. That was... yeah, I'm sweating on that one. That was very fiddly, a lot to do. I don't know how long this video is going to be. I do need to edit some of it down because it's just going to go on forever and ever. But yeah, thank you for joining me on this one. Hopefully I'm going to try and do an X-Wing next thing, probably tomorrow. I'm also launching the Spitfire show, so the Hachette Spitfire. I'm launching that. There is a Facebook group for it, and there also is they're going to be on YouTube, and I'm going to live build that every Sunday, probably once a month, and yeah, that should be quite interesting. So please watch that video, that live, and thanks very much. Remember to give this video a like. If you haven't yet, please subscribe to my channel and hit that notification bell, and you'll be notified of any videos that are coming up in the future. So take care, be safe, and guys, be positive. Good night.